Hey, welcome to day after Halloween when everyone's on a sugar rush because yum 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 candy. Let's see, from there we covered those kids. We'll cover that and we'll get to there. Let's go with. Thank you to those kids who came by last night. I enjoyed it. We went through 200 full-size candy bars and 150 blow pops, and then almost ran out of those by the end. And other than that, I had a good time with kids coming through. Lots of good stories. I appreciate those of you who came by. It was good. Even those of you who went through in large groups and yelled and screamed and giggled. As far as Treasure Challenge goes, so far I have 6 boys and 3 girls who have signed up for it. If you got invitation, you are still welcome to. Those of you who did not get invitation, your time opens up today. If you are wanting to do it at 4 o'clock, you are more than welcome to come see me and sign up for a spot. As long as I still have open spots, then you are good to sign up for them. Just make sure that you're good to stay after on Thursday, and then you should be solid from there. You did have to have a C- in your Heroes classes first 9 weeks. Not right now, but first 9 weeks. So other than that, you should be good to go from there. Same thing with home children. Technically, if you're watching this, you could send me a remind message if you really wanted to. And to here, homeworky, that doesn't really apply to you because the 3 kids it applied to left. If you're a home child and you don't have it done, it costs you 3 B points, sadness and choices, and then tomorrow you have to stand and stuff like that. Let's go to home children. It's like school children. They're different. Excuse me, I'm reading out loud. It makes me go burpy.
Wow.
Excuse me.
They spelled fave wrong.
He nuked the
Spelled
whole
wrong.
class.
Justin Bieber, they spelled fave wrong.
Yeah.
I know, it bothers me every time too, but she's now in college, so I probably can't track her down and yell at her.
College.
What are you doing?
Yes, it's a thing that comes after high school.
That's the bro, yeah. Can I?
Sebastian!
Why you over Mr. a little enormous? What's his
Everyone needs a hobby. Let's see, so with where we left off, we'll get back. Where did we leave off with you guys? That's what I was thinking was hoobly bop 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 bop.
No, it's
Okay, so we left off where they were just getting into that part. Okay. I have the last day I'm going to show you the grippers. Evil! Sure.
Grippers.
Wait, what page are we on?
Jehovah!
90.
Can I get some water?
Sure.
Wait, it's
It takes you down to 7.
Wait, do you take 3 or 2 points for that?
3.
Wait, how many will it?
Jehovah.
How many will it bring me down?
I don't know. Are you
Wait,
going?
can
Evil's
I, wait,
at.
can I have some
What
water?
are you doing? This gets.
That's up to her.
Do we lose points?
You already had some.
Right.
Never mind, Mr. Bogart.
Okay.
Wait.
You got no water.
That's Sam's fault. He spilled it all over himself.
Moving on. And then we got to the whole colorblind thing, and then we get to, let's see, the Tommy Nichols and the spider on the head and the freaking out, and then the spider getting killed and dying and stuff like that.
Home Alone.
We left off with them all at Stonehenge, crowding around, talking and telling stories. I'm getting ready to look. Kid who keeps trying to lose points by yelling at me. And then we had the other Stonehenge picture. And then look, there's a page where I get to tell you what page we're on. Kid who likes to keep yelling at me. We are on page 80 deuce.
82. Mr.
Yes.
Sam, you lied.
Who did I just?
No, I was giving Jehovah back his points because he didn't leave.
Can I go get a drink of water?
Sure.
What does that bring me down to?
You've spent 5 this week.
Am I in single digits?
No.
Oh, I'm not?
No.
I'm cool and then. Oh, God.
So we're about halfway down where OP is saying intense. Lance.
Yesterday, how did I lose 9 points instead of 7?
Right. We can get that later. Right now I'm doing a reading.
You lost 9 points?
Yeah,
Me personally, I could never.
No, 8 points.
Yes, you could. I could.
Thank you. So, I mean, I can make it 9. Dreams can come true.
Oh.
Okay. Let's see. That spider was great, man, said Darren. It's like, wait, I think I have another. Nope, not yet. We'll go back to there. Page 82. You'll see in a moment. It's like the thing knew exactly what we wanted it to do. I wish I could have seen it, said Jason. We should make that spider an honorary member of the club. Yeah. Too bad it's dead, said Darren, shoving a marshmallow into his mouth. You're all wrong, said Randall. The absolute best thing ever in the history of the whole world was the look on Drew Lander's face as he took off his socks in the locker room in front of the whole team, and none of you got to see it. Tell us about it. Okay, said Randall. Everyone in the club was listening. The whole team was done changing except for Drew when the coach passed through the locker room on his way to the pool. I started asking the coach questions, to keep him there. You mean the coach was there too? Asked Abby. I'm getting to it. I love it. Anyway, the coach starts telling me that as usual, I'm in all of Drew's races, and as usual, I knew he would take first place. Then, just like I predicted, Drew takes off those filthy, dirty socks. Jared, you did such a good job of painting his nails. It was incredible. I could have died. Anyway, Drew didn't notice it at first. He put his bathing suit on and didn't even see it. But the coach saw it. Oh no, this was great. Classic, just classic. Shut up, let me finish. Okay, so the coach sees him, toenails and all, and they were fire engine red. You couldn't miss them. And the coach just says, Drew, your feet? And everyone looks down at Drew's toes. Nobody laughs. Everyone thought it was for real. Like Drew did it all by himself. Everybody's saying, wow, I don't believe it, stuff like that. Finally, Drew looks at his feet, then turns to the coach, his eyebrows and face all wrinkled up like he's about to sneeze, and he begins stuttering, like I do, and he tries to hide his feet, and that's when the team starts to laugh. I swear those painted toes were the most ridiculous thing in the history of the planet. I love it. Classic. Intense. So anyway, Drew can't get a word out. He's so embarrassed. And then, get this, the coach starts laughing too. At that, any of us who were holding back couldn't hold it any longer. We all began to laugh, laughing our heads off because we humiliated Drew Landers. It's kind of sick, huh? When Randall regained control of his laughter, he finished the story. Okay, this is the best part. While we all sat there laughing at those stupid red toes, Drew Landers, Mr. Macho Swimmer himself, began to cry. Yes, revenge! We all got our revenge, said Cheryl. And the more they humiliate us, the more revenge we're going to get. Everybody agreed. Even OP, shy OP, was all smiles there at the campfire. It seemed that beneath that quiet, brainy exterior lurked a kid just like the rest of us who just loved every minute of our little pranks. Hey everybody, I'd like to read something to you. All eyes turned to her as she pulled out a piece of paper. As you know, David Berger, Jason's mortal enemy, had green slime mysteriously loaded into his trumpet. Everyone chuckled. Well, I would like to read you this small poem that came out in the high school paper this week. Not the junior high. No, high school. We made the big time. Okay, listen to this. She unfolded the newspaper clipping and began reading. The team was on the field, and victory was at hand. Yes, everything seemed wonderful. Then David slimed the band. He did it with such style and grace, you'd think that it was planned. Not one musician got off clean when David slimed the band. The flutes were sprayed with sticky goo, their players filled with scorn. The band leader got slimed on too when David blew his horn. The football players turned their heads and heard the band all say, there is no doubt we are grossed out, as they all ran away. Next week they'll all wear raincoats and gloves upon their hands, blame it all on one trumpet call when David slimed the band. We were in stitches, laughing so hard our stomachs began to hurt. You ever have one of those laughing fits where one person's laughter keeps feeding the others until nobody can stop? That's what it was like. Between the sliming and the tarantula and the nail polish and the diary and the snake and the green blood, it was too much for any group of human beings to handle. We just had to laugh and laugh. Finally, about 5 minutes later, we came down off of our laughing fit, wheezing and wiping our eyes dry. The fire had now become full and furious, sending sparks sailing in the dimming sky. We all relaxed, and I found that somehow, during the laughing fit, I had ended up leaning back, my head resting comfortably in Cheryl's lap. I looked up at her. She smiled at me. She was playing with my hair. The strangest thing about it was that I didn't feel uncomfortable at all.
Wait, yo, whoa.
Which is ironic because I feel uncomfortable reading it. So apparently Jared and Cheryl, who claimed at the beginning that they were just friends, have moved beyond just friends and are moving into awkward flirty stage. Because he's
Sounds like
Oh no.
Josh and
That's
Riley.
not.
just leaned his
I
head.
saw Chelsea wearing his sweatshirt.
No,
Yeah,
you didn't.
did.
No, you
I
did
actually
not.
wore a sweatshirt that would feel
Wow.
like.
Is that what happens when all of a sudden we start attacking someone? They attack you right back? You saw that coming.
Mr. Brovicast, I'm not talking.
I know.
Well, we can
No,
do
I was
Chelsea.
waiting for Jehovah to see who he was going to attack on that because I knew they were going to fling Chelsea right back at you. As
I
soon as
mean,
you
I
Even
would.
if
Let's
we
go
should go
forward.
to the movie
What are we gonna share?
together.
Well, how does she know?
She said.
No, that's what I was saying. So, continuing on from there.
What?
Who would have thought that creepy kids being creepy flirting would make you guys so excited?
Jehovah?
This is classic, said Jason. And although he said that quite a lot, we knew exactly what he meant. Even though most of us had barely known each other 3 weeks ago, right now, at this one moment in time, we would all agree that we were the best friends in the world. I looked up at Cheryl, whose hair was dangling just an inch above my nose, and smiled. And that's when I heard it. We all heard it. I snapped up out of Cheryl's lap, and we all turned our heads to listen. What was that? Shush, shush. We all listened, heard it again. The scraping of branches, the crunching of leaves. Something was out there, just above the pit, on the other side of Stonehenge. We were all thinking the same thing. No one ever saw any bears in these woods, but Ralphie Sherman swore that once Bigfoot came up to him and then ran away. Of course, Ralphie Sherman also swore that he was picked up by one-eyed aliens, taken to a distant galaxy, and then returned in time for evening television, so no one much trusted Ralphie Sherman. Still, you never really know. There were also stories of a mountain lion who was shot by a family hiking only 30 miles away. None of us had any weapons. There were deer in the woods, but what if it wasn't a deer? We were all silent and could still hear the faintest movement just a few feet away. I sniffed the air. Perhaps if it was some large animal, I could smell it, but all I could smell was the smoke from the fire. And then I said the stupidest thing that's ever been uttered by anybody on the face of this earth. Hey, I'll go check. Nobody else volunteered. I slowly stood and walked over to the dirt slope where one corner of Stonehenge had caved in dozens of years ago, and I made my way up. Now, on the other side of Stonehenge, I was all alone, and for all I knew, this could have been the end of my life. Still, I forced myself on, because waiting there in the middle like a sitting duck wouldn't do any of us any good. I walked around Stonehenge, and I heard it again. Moving branches. There was no mistaking it. Something was up here, just around the corner of the old stone foundation. My heart began to beat faster. If I could just get a glimpse of it before it saw me, I'd be all right. If it were a deer, fine. I would go back down, case closed. If it were something worse, I could warn everyone and we could scatter. We'd have better chances that way. Of course, if we scattered, the thing would probably go after me first. Excuse me. The thing would probably go after me first since I was right there, but I wasn't about to start thinking things like that. I neared the stone corner and slowly peered around. Trees, trees, and more trees came into view until I saw something at the far end turning a corner. It wasn't a deer. It wasn't Bigfoot. It was a kid. I saw his back and feet as he turned the corner, but didn't see his face. Whoever it was had been watching us and had heard our secrets, knew exactly what we had done and what was going on. If someone knew, then our whole club could be destroyed. I was not about to allow that. Hey, everybody, hurry up here! Some kid's been watching us! Everyone stood and raced up and out of Stonehenge. This way! I rounded the next corner and saw him again, this time disappearing into the woods. He was trying to get away, the little spy. Is there only one of them? I think so. Hey, if he tells, we're in lots of trouble. I know! The Shadow Club raced through the woods, and as our eyes began to adjust to the dim light, we could see him just 20 feet in front of us. I raced at full speed. He was nearing the road. At last, I got close enough and dove on him, bringing him down. He was about my size, just a bit skinnier, a bit bonier. I rolled him over and looked at the face before me. I instantly knew who it was, and so did the rest of the Shadow Club. And so will you when you turn the page.
Wait, no, because Austin will beat him. So it's not
It's
Austin.
Tyson.
Tyson.
Who's Tyson?
The like
Oh, this is
Ooh,
Tyson the wrestler.
The one that was,
making fun.
yeah, fights like the Tasmanian Devil, who was like the stringy-haired one who everyone makes fun of and stuff like that. That was Tyson.
Why would someone make fun of him?
And how what?
Chapter, Tyson McGall. Get your hands off me, you idiot, yelled Tyson. Oh my gosh, it's the slime ball, said Darren. Now we're in for it. What were you doing up there? I demanded, pinning his shoulders to the ground as hard as I could. Get off me, butthead, you're hurting me. I asked you a question. You're hurting me. Good. He'll hurt you more if you don't tell. Tyson didn't say a word. I'm warning you, Tyson. We have ways of making you talk, and you won't like any of them. I didn't see anything. Bull. Bring him back to Stonehenge, said O.P. To Stonehenge! Yeah, bring him back to Stonehenge! And that's just what we did. I put him in a full Nelson. He struggled, but Darren grabbed his feet, and we carried him back through the woods to Stonehenge. For those of you who are not wrestlers, and you are unfamiliar with full Nelson, the full Nelson is where you go under one arm, and then
It's not Biggie.
there's Big
No,
Show.
it's not.
And then you go under the other arm, and so it allows you to control their arms through their head and stuff like that. So in this case, this would be Tyson, and that would be Jared up there. So
Yeah, I know.
Similar faces on it.
I should have.
He's a
Maybe
pro,
next time.
dude.
I didn't want to cover up the Big Show. He looks so happy. The fire was still at full blaze when we carried Tyson down into the stone foundation. He had stopped struggling some time ago. We let him go, and he stood, his back against the wall, with all 7 of us standing in front of him. What is this, a gang? I thought about that for a second, but let it fly out the other ear. There's 7 of us, Tyson, and only 1 of you. You'd better tell us what you saw. I wouldn't tell you if you were the last person on Earth. Beat him up, yelled Jason,
Beat him up.
standing in the background, pounding his fist into his other hand. Make him talk. Yeah, yelled O.P. No. I could see that being rough with Tyson just made him clam up even more. We needed a different approach. Listen, Tyson, we don't want to hurt you or anything. I mean, we're all friends, right? No, said Abby. I said we're all friends, right? Everyone reluctantly agreed. Now, why don't you tell us what you saw? I backed up a little bit, giving Tyson some room. He looked around at us and seemed a bit less angry, although that crazy look he had in his eyes never went away. He looked at us for a long time and then said, all I saw was you guys laughing. That's all. I saw you laughing for a long time. That's all. You expect us to believe that? It's the truth. Then why did you run? I don't know. Because you started chasing me. That's why. We chased you because you were spying on us. Well, I just wanted to find out what you were laughing about, okay? That's all. Tyson looked at us all with that mean, dark look in his eyes and then hung his head. I just wanted to find out because I thought maybe you were talking about me and that's why you were laughing. Why would we talk about you? Because people talk about me. I hear it. They think I don't, but I do. They laugh at me all the time. They call me a slime ball. Anyway, that's all I saw was laughing. We don't believe you. Actually, I sort of half believed him and half didn't. What are you doing around here anyway? I live near here, down that way. You're lying. There are no houses around here. There's one on the cliff by the ocean. The lighthouse? It's not a lighthouse anymore. I live there. For those of you who are unaware of it or who don't play Fortnite.
The house that like by the seas.
Yeah. And so they used to use them at one point for ships near the ocean so that you didn't run into like the cliff or the ground. And you would have a light out there showing you where either dangerous areas were or something like that. We still have lighthouses. We just don't use them nearly as much because we have things like GPS and radios. But at one time, they were super popular, and there's usually a house at the bottom of them because that's for the person whose job was to keep the lighthouse. You would live down there, and then your job was to go up there at night, and that was like the job that you would have nonstop. And so that's a thing. And you still, if you go down to like Florida, there's a bunch of lighthouses, and like on the coast, like California has lighthouses up and down it and stuff like that. So, one what? Yeah. On the Great Lakes, they have some lighthouses up there because those lakes are so big, they have sort of the same issue. So yeah, you'll see them up there too. Good call. Everyone was quiet for a while, and nobody knew what to say next. If Tyson was lying, there's nothing we could do about it. He'd never tell the truth, no matter what we did to him. All right, I don't care what you saw or what you heard, but I'll tell you one thing. If you so much as tell another living soul that you saw us all here, you'll be sorry. Do you swear never to tell anyone? Maybe. No maybes. All right. But on one condition. What? Tyson looked at me, and for a very brief instant, I saw something else besides that stupid, crazy look in Tyson's eyes. I don't know exactly what it was that I saw, but it was kind of like what you see when you look into a baby's eyes. And then Tyson said, I swear I won't tell a soul if you let me in your gang. What? Please, I've never been in a gang before. I'll do a good job, no, a great job. Just let me in your gang. It's not a gang! I screamed into his face and then shook him as hard as I could. You don't know a thing! And then Tyson changed again. The craziness was back. Well, to heck with you! All of you! I don't want to be in a gang of bullies, and you're the biggest bully of them all! I'm not a bully! I screamed at him and then pulled him back against the wall as hard as I could. If there was one thing in this world that I was not, it was that. I was not a bully. I grabbed him and pushed him against the wall again to make my point clear. By the way, as he's in the process of beating up Tyson while yelling, I'm not a bully, do you know what thing we studied earlier that would be an example of?
Irony?
Yeah. That'd be a pretty strong example of irony if you're beating someone up going, I'm not a bully, while you're in the process of beating them to a pulp.
Ironic.
We're going to stop with beating someone up and before we get to the next gross part.